Stretching like a stone serpent across mountains, deserts, and centuries, this engineering marvel stands as one of humanity's most enduring symbols. Part fortress, part frontier, part myth. Built and rebuilt by successive dynasties, it was never a single wall, but a living project shaped by fear of invasion, imperial ambition, and the sheer will to impose order on a vast and unpredictable land. Historically, it marked the boundary between worlds, agrarian empires to the south and nomadic steppe cultures to the north. It was a line of defense, but also a conduit of trade, communication, and cultural exchange. Soldiers lived and died along its ramparts, turning stone and earth into a monument of sacrifice and statecraft. Yet beyond bricks and battlements, it carries a deeper resonance. In folklore and spiritual thought, it has been seen as a guardian line, a dragon's spine, even a symbolic barrier against chaos itself. Stories of ghosts, omens, and ancestral spirits cling to its watchtowers, suggesting the wall didn't just protect an empire, it absorbed its hopes, fears, and collective soul. This case file, join the theorists as we walk the winding path between history and meaning, exploring the layers of stone, story, and spirit within the Great Wall of China.
To Alien Theorists Theorizing. I'm Braden.
I'm Zell.
I'm Dan. And I'm Andrew.
You did say Alien Theorists Theorizing, even though we haven't made the...
No, I didn't. I coughed.
Oh, I thought you said...
What you heard was a cough.
That's what his cough sounded like.
I got you.
Didn't know which way to go.
Alien Theories.
Alien. Yeah. We didn't talk about it before, so I was like,
We haven't talked about it. We're going to talk about it in after hours, what's happening with... the split feed we have going on right now. It's been nothing but problems and annoyance and the bane of my entire existence.
They're about to become a singularity and fucking collapse back in on itself. Is what's about to happen. Today we're talking about China. You know what? Quick little rabbit hole I wanted to go down that kind of I fell down looking into the Great Wall of China. First off, bunch of liars.
Not so great.
China.
Okay.
No, China just lying about everything. I no longer believe that terracotta army. I believe that's fucking a plant now after going down this rabbit hole.
Okay.
You don't believe there's fucking rivers of mercury flowing? And
No, I don't. Dude, I don't believe anything coming out of China.
Well, we don't know if that's actually true.
One of the big fucking ones that I went down while looking into the Great Wall was like their population. What is their population right now?
A quarter of what they say it is?
A billion or something?
1.5 billion is the official
they've been
reported
lying.
thing. And then like I watched this not a TED talk, but this like with this Chinese historian that's like come to the West and is like, China bad. and she was going off and she's like, that number doesn't even make sense because 70 years ago they had 500 million. They're like, they've had decades of a one-child policy. Their population would have had to grow like 5 kids per household.
Well, and like on
continuously.
Top of, whenever you see guys that go to China and they'll blog about it or YouTube about it, there's never any people in the streets.
Dude, and then she was saying
it's crazy. It's like fucking
they were challenging her because they were like, well, the UN and the official databases say like based on energy consumption and stuff. And she was like, they have full fucking cities that have no one in it, that they run the power 24/7, full cities with no one. And she's like, it's a lie. She was like, China's on the brink.
Come on, China.
Absolute collapse.
Where's the people?
Well, dude, everyone knows.
The people, China. The people.
Everyone knows, all the experts know that China is facing a massive population collapse. Because of the one-child policy.
No, listen. I grew up, everybody told me that there was, for every bullet That was in fucking North America. There was one Chinese person. More. They would fucking nuke us if we fought them. That's what everybody told us that. We wouldn't be able to stop them.
If we nuke them.
Yeah. We didn't.
So what Braden's saying is he doesn't believe the Great Wall of China even exists.
No.
It's inflatable.
No. Well, I don't believe it's. I mean, it's there. It's there. I don't.
Is it because I've only ever seen the same stock photos of them?
That's true.
Hey, I've never been there. But what is presented is pretty mind-blowing. We're going to go through it today. We're going to lighten up on the case file this week. Take a little breather from the fucking.
We're going to lighten things up by talking about China. Are you sure? Are you fucking sure?
It depends who's talking, I guess. If Andrew's talking, then yeah, it's not going to be light.
No. Hey, listen, hey, buddy, I pretty much live in communist China, okay? I'm pro. We support it here in Canada. We are basically Chinese. It's over for us.
Oh, easy.
Dude, we got our own fucking Chinese police fucking force within our country. We've got our prime minister, I'm pretty sure, is in China right now with his newly defected fucking conservative.
We don't have our own Chinese police force. We have a Chinese police force that operates here illegally. And we allow it to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, Great Wall of China. We're going to China. We're investigating the Great Wall. It's from what I thought as a kid is not correct. It's not just a continuous, amazing wall, though it is amazing. But I always thought when I was growing up, the Great Wall of China was this like constant wall around all of northern China. That's always what I thought.
Also, I had teachers that were like, hammered it home to the point where I remember this. They're like, it can be seen from space. And you're like, no, it can't. It absolutely cannot be seen from space. That is a huge lie. It's still like an engineering feat. It's like insane.
If you could see the Great Wall of China from space, you could see every highway from space also, because it's not very wide. And it looks just like the ground around it. It's made with like rammed earth and brick and mortar. That makes no sense. I guess if you're on the space station and you had like a good pair of binoculars, sure.
No, there's no way. Binoculars? No way.
Well, you're only up 80K with some good fucking 40 times. You could see for sure.
Maybe.
100%. But that's not really in space. You're only up, if you even believe it's up there.
Yeah. Okay, first off, they're just flying in the sky. First off, they're not.
They're on a constant flight.
They're on a constant flight.
Anyways, Dan, drop us some facts about the Great Wall before we go on a major tangent here already.
So the Great Wall, like you've already mentioned, is a pretty large and amazing engineering feat. It wasn't built all at the same time. It is the largest militarily significant construction in the world. It was built usually, like, I guess people, they dated around like the beginning of the walls or the origin of the wall around the 7th or 8th century BC, where you had battle among the warring states period of China, which it wasn't China then, it was a bunch of like little city states. And they call this the Spring, Autumn, and Warring States dynasty. And most of these walls, like the large, probably the longest parts of the wall that have been around the longest, like these were actually walls that were built to defend against other city states within, that would be like kind of.
They were getting ready for Hunger Games, basically.
Yeah.
Well, they had
they were starting to fence off the districts. Is what was happening.
Well, it was actually what happened is like the emperor at the time, and like one of the ruling class, like they kind of started to fall apart, and the smaller states started kind of exercise a lot more autonomy. So all of them started kind of building their own walls, building up their own armies, and then kind of like shit got crazy after I think I forget off the top of my head which emperor died, and then kind of left everything kind of like went to shit, and it was kind of like everybody's like, well, we're the best, and then they all started fighting. But it was actually, I guess so it was actually the state of Chu, which was the first to kind of build their wall. And during the Qin dynasty, when you get China, this is when you had Emperor Qin Shi Huang actually had all of the walls eventually joined up to kind of force it all together and then kind of build. We'll talk about it, but it's like about having the the walls together for both like the defensive purposes, and then also there's some that say that's more like it's almost like propaganda is what it is, the kind of building of the solid, you know, solidarity of the Chinese people and the people within the Qin Empire to become one. But there are sections of the wall that were specifically for.
What a weird thing to be like, let's join the people by.
Buddy, it's like fucking Hands Across America, except for it's a wall.
Dude, it was like it's like real life Catan. They were going for longest road, right? They were like they wanted those bonus points. They're like, let's just build a fucking continuous fence as far as the eye can see.
It did have like a military significance about what it was, and like some sections of the wall more than others were like built specifically to keep out like invaders from the Catan like areas, like the northern parts above China.
Some were built to keep people in.
Well, we're gonna get there. Don't you worry.
Yeah,
we're getting there.
So the Great Wall is actually like, you know, if you go into the you know, just the facts, I guess. Like if you take all of the sections combined, because it's not every section, but and actually they're actually still digging up sections. A lot of this, like, so some of these numbers kind of flex every now and then. Where it's about 21,000 kilometers or 13,000 miles, so roughly halfway around the Earth. Yeah. So it runs very far.
It's insane. So what you're saying, Dan, is the game Dynasty Warriors is actually what started the wall, because it was the warring factions, right? What did we say? We had, because warring factions, I had it written down here because
now you're speaking my language. Okay.
I loved it. Yeah. So you had the
romance of the Three Kingdoms.
You had
stuff,
Qi or Qi, the Qi clan. You had the Zhao, the Yan, and the Wei, right? You had Lu Bu. You had all these clans building walls to protect themselves from each other. You know, we're talking like hundreds of years.
Cao
BC. Cao. Yeah.
Cao. Yeah, he was good.
So from that, and then as dynasties formed, they started merging these walls as Dynasty Warriors 2, 3, and 4 were released.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I think about
Dynasty Warriors Extreme.
Zella, to understand Chinese culture and Chinese history, he has to dumb it down to Dynasty Warriors.
You have to dumb it down to a game where one guy will wipe out an entire army with nothing but a sword spear. That's it.
It's the spear that pierces heaven. It's
amazing.
Guan Yu and Lu Bu and who's it? I forget. There's another couple other ones, but but
okay. Now, are we talking about real things now, or are we still talking about video games?
Technically, real things.
It's like a fictional, it's a fictional thing, but it is pretty cool. It actually is a really fun piece of literature. But you have you do have the different sections of the wall. What's another interesting thing about them is they're all kind of, a lot of them are built from, and Zell kind of touched on this just a little bit ago. It's like they're all built from like different types of material. Like you had some pieces of the wall that are built by stone and brick. Some are built by just tamped earth, like wood. And then even there are some sections of the wall, which is an interesting study that's still going around now, that they found sections where they actually use sticky rice mortar to put it together, which they found to be surprisingly durable.
I think you're forgetting
harder than modern day cement in some cases.
I think this place was built of half of corpses and fucking.
Have you ever left rice in the fridge too long? It's like a brick.
Don't fucking eat leftover rice, by the way.
What?
You can't eat leftover rice.
Why not?
It gets a certain bacteria on it. Fuck, it's bad for you. It'll kill you.
Do it all the time.
That's how you make. That's how you make chicken fried rice. Is you have to use leftover rice.
No, you don't do leftover rice. You eat fresh rice, and that's it.
What?
Yep.
No, your buddy.
I do that all the time.
Google it right fucking now.
You've ever Google any recipe for chicken fried rice, and they're going to tell you use leftover rice. It's way better for the recipe.
Use leftover rice.
All right. Well,
enjoying rice and eating it for leftovers.
If you want to be fat and enjoy your life like me,
shut up. Here it is. It's a safe option as long as it's being stored and reheated correctly. Just like anything.
Like any food. Yeah, like any food.
Andrew's like, you guys are eating old food? What do you mean you're eating old food?
Okay, well, I'm going to die one day then, because I eat leftover Chinese food all the time. I eat it cold too. I ain't fucking
die. Me too.
I might. Yeah, so we have this Great Wall of China, but it's not. It's a whole bunch of different constructions from different times, but it's not just a wall. It's trenches. They use rivers and natural mountains and hills, and they connect it all together to make this 22,000 kilometer wall, which pretty much does the whole entire northern border of China.
Sounds like they got lazy when they're using rivers and other things. They're like, oh, good enough, right? That's pretty much a wall, right?
I mean, a big river is better than a wall. A wall, you can fucking just climb up that motherfucker. Yeah. It's not a big deal.
You can just wade a river.
Yeah, and they actually, I mean...
Not if you fill it with giant snakehead.
Well, sure. part of the mythology of the wall is that they originally like dragons carved across the land and followed like the natural contours, and that's why they built the wall. They built a lot of what they call dragon's veins, which is like what they call mountains. And this kind of all of it, because the way that the like, I mean, just iconically, like the pictures of the Great Wall that you do have, like you can see how it follows the terrain. It's not just one straight wall. And all of these things, and you know, for certain purposes, it's just like it just worked for what it was in some of these areas. But yeah, it's like some of these areas, like if the wall is nothing but like a trench, or like, you know, it's not that high or not that impressive, but it's like they all connect into one giant construction that does span an extraordinary distance.
Because at one time it was the Mongols. That was the unifying force of China. Like, we got to finish this fucking wall.
Oh, buddy, hey, let's get down to business to defeat the Huns.
Right.
We're going to build a fucking wall.
Finally.
Well, the Huns.
Did you send me daughters or sons? Listen, I watched the movie. I know.
What was Genghis Khan? Wasn't a Mongol? Mongol?
Well, he was a Mongol, but it's like
Attila was the Hun.
Attila was the Hun.
Oh,
Attila. The Mongols were Genghis. But a number of, I guess, different cons you could have, like, but they were always like, yeah, a continuous threat. Kuba. Those on the northern border of China, like those tribes, nomadic tribes from the steppes that would, you know, periodically raid those things where, yeah, the wall was meant to be a defensive structure against them, to defend against them, which it did for a while.
Dude, until like it was like 1300, 1400 where gunpowder and cannons were developed.
Well, it's like a lot of times, like the wall, like it served its purposes in some areas, and then, but a lot of times it wasn't like the perfect defensive structure as anything was. A lot of times when you do get these breaches in the wall, a lot of the times it was like they just bribed somebody to like set up an area or to let them in through a gate.
Listen, Dan, if the wall was successful, then it would be Tartaria, not China. All right.
Right.
Yeah. You know what happened? It's the wall was fruitless, and all the Chinese invaded Tartaria, right, and used up all their resources.
Yeah.
Right.
All the magic science, integrated fucking energy.
Right. And China couldn't get, or Tartaria couldn't get their their police force to round them up quick enough to get them out of there. And they overran it. I think that's what happened to them.
Well, that's one of the theories of the wall is they say these Tartarian buildings that permeate the entire world somehow have similar construction techniques to some parts of the Great Wall. So therefore, the Great Wall, at least part of it, was built by the Tartarian Empire.
The good
before the Great Mud Flood of whenever that was.
Mm-hmm. And it's
due to the erosion. Right? We know that due to the erosion, we know that the Great Wall is tens of thousands of years older than
hundreds. Some say hundreds of thousands of years older.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, yeah, they do say that large portions of the wall have vanished, and it's like estimated to be about 1/3 of the wall has actually disappeared due to things like erosion, earthquakes, and people actually, you know, as people do, and we've seen in other cultures, it's like people just steal
the stones to build your fucking huts and stuff.
And like sometimes the wall's just in the way of construction crews, so they just smash it down without permits. They're like, well, this is going to take too long.
Dude, in China, they don't really worry about environmental stuff. If they want to build a road, they just build it.
I think we talked about that a little while ago. A little construction crew was just like, mow it down, mowed down a section of the wall to get through faster for construction.
Like, we've all seen these videos in China of them building stuff, and they build it so fast.
They're like the Amish.
They're fucking, all of a sudden there's a 30-story tower built in like 5 days. Like, how? How do you even do this?
Slave labor.
Robots. Yeah, I mean,
Like, one of the-
I was going to say a huge portion of this wall was rammed earth, right? So rammed earth works really well until it gets wet. So right now, this new trend is rammed earth construction, like for houses, which works great.
What is rammed earth exactly?
So you set like a
just fucking. Is that when you have like mud in your hand, you just keep slapping it?
Pretty much exactly what it sounds like. Yeah. You create a form. I'm not an expert, but from what I know, you create a form, you dump certain type of dirt in it, and you just ram it down and compact it as hard till it's like concrete. And it works really well as long as you waterproof it and it doesn't get wet. Because if it gets wet, obviously it's going to crumble.
How do you waterproof it though?
You just use like a plastic barrier on the outside, so when it rains, it washes.
Little poly.
Okay. Little poly.
Yeah, exterior poly, a big, thick like barrier. But in the Great Wall, I'm assuming they didn't have that knowledge of
you assume wrong, man. This is Tartarian technology. This is fucking
not all of
the world, buddy.
Not all of it. It can't be. The Tartarians are way too smart to just build with rammed earth. Their building still exists today. Isn't it like the White House a Tartarian building or something?
I think so. Empire State Building?
Union Station.
They dug those babies out of the dirt.
Yeah, they were there.
All over the whole world somehow. This Tartarian Empire exists.
It's fucking insane.
This is the greatest theory ever. We talked about it before.
It's crazy. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, the whole Chicago World's Fair is all Tartarian. All the stuff that they built out of like, was it like hay and plaster?
Yeah, mesh and plaster. But don't say that to those people because they're going to call you a liar. Even though
you're hiding the truth.
Your great granddaddy was building that motherfucker in 1890 or whatever. But anyways, so yes, we have this huge portion of the wall that's eroded and gone or buried or destroyed.
Destroyed.
By something more powerful than anything at the time. Some parts of the wall look like they've been blown up, melted, if you will. Melted. Nuclear blast, perhaps? I don't know.
The one to me is it's like, they're like, well, it seems like it sloped to the wrong side. So it's like the defensive side would be the wrong side.
It's lower than the way in is lower than the way out, essentially.
Yeah, like so they're like based on how we know that like civilizations built these like defenses, they would be defending the opposite way of what history books
are facing towards China.
Yeah, like the big walls are facing towards China. So are the turrets. Or some turrets. Some
what do they call it? I can't remember what they call it, but the little like archer slits.
It's a fantasy word for the turret.
Yeah. Whatever. We got to call them turrets. The turrets are facing towards China, and some
not all of them. Let's be clear.
In certain sections.
Yeah. And the slope is like it's sloped, so like low, which doesn't make sense because you're like you'd want to be on the high side on the defensive.
You'd think, unless you were building a giant prison wall,
keep people in. People in. It might not have anything to do with what we talked about the wall being built between warring factions or anything. That has nothing to do with it.
No. Well, I mean, that is part of it, but it's like the wall, it's with most walls, I think, is that they can serve multiple purposes. It's like they do have a function as a military installation and defensive construction, but also some of these places were actually just like they were places to control immigration. Like it's these places that people to check in,
build the wall,
come through checkpoints, to control trade, and which is what we kind of sometimes need. And you put these places strategically to come through. But there are some, there is some. I think reading about it, what I found fascinating about the Great Wall of China is that there are kind of like conflicting views where it's like it is the Great Wall of China is iconic and it is like a symbol of Chinese identity, but there are kind of two sides to it where it is the one where it's like, yes, it is the Great One China, it is the amazing engineering marvel that it is, but it is also this one where the wall, like large sections of the wall were represent like forced labor and like a controlling government to some extent. Like
they were just throwing bodies in there for sure.
That's what I said. I tried saying that earlier. You guys were talking about rice. I'm saying they used bodies to build that fucking place.
Yeah, that is in rice.
That is another famous lore about the Great Wall. But I don't know if the organic material doesn't do well in construction, so I don't know why you put them in there.
What else are you gonna do with them? I mean, it's easier than burying them.
If you do a mummified sticky rice exterior,
100%, man.
I mean, you'd also want to bury the bodies because in Chinese like cosmology and those things, like unburied bodies gets you ghosts 100%. Like it is like that is the one thing about the culture around that time is like if you have unburied bodies, they're going to turn into ghosts.
Well, then you use the ghosts to finish the job. Yeah, it's fucking
when you guys were looking into this and looking into theories, did you run across the 2016 film The Great Wall?
No,
Did you guys hear about this film?
Is that the one with Michael
starring
Collins?
Matt Damon, and it's about Matt Damon is like I've never seen this movie. I didn't even know it existed.
I 100% think we talked about this like way back in 2016.
Have we talked about this before?
We probably
it's insane, dude. I was like looking at the cover of it because it's like the concept is that the wall is there because every 60 years a meteor comes and brings aliens.
Yeah, it's giant reptile aliens. Yeah,
and they use the wall to defend.
And Matt Damon's like a European trader or something. That
this must be like pre-Goodwill Hunting. Like, was this his first movie? I don't understand. Like, this sounds fucking.
No, this was like a real expensive movie to make.
And
I think.
He's
this is his John Carter from Mars.
I mean, it wasn't him. I don't know what they paid him to get in there. It must have been a bunch of money.
I was like, it's like, it's like
isn't it like it's all Chinese actors. It's all like Chinese actors.
If you could pay Gary Oldman enough money to be in Tiptoes, you can get fucking Matt Damon in this movie. I guarantee. Yeah,
it's pretty funny. I was like, he's the one white guy in this movie. I was like, they're like, we need this film to do well in America. Get their number one actor, Matt Damon.
Can we get
Matt Damon? Yeah,
it's so weird. Like the cover is like, is William Dafoe in it too? Actually, I think he might be in it.
He might be.
He is in it. William Dafoe is in it too.
I mean, I remember about the time when this came out and just it being a whole thing. Be like, why is he in this movie? Like, I'm not sure. Like, it is a Chinese, production. It is like
this is when you threw fucking eyeliner on somebody, on a white guy, and he's Persian. Like, this is a wild time.
But he doesn't play a Chinese person. He plays.
Doesn't matter. Tom Cruise is a samurai, baby. Let's go.
Well, Tom Cruise plays an American samurai.
Matter.
Like,
he assimilated into samurai culture.
Yeah.
So Matt Damon's playing a Chinese guy?
No, he's not.
No,
what's the difference?
He's a white guy that he's now a better.
Assimilated.
He's better. He's a Chinese warrior.
Exactly. What's
fighting aliens?
The best Chinese
they do better.
Anyway, speaking about bodies in the Great Wall, it's possible because they think like over 100,000 people died building the Great Wall over all the dynasties. So if they're not in the wall itself, they're in the foundation, they're around the wall, they're fucking all over that baby.
Fertilizing the area around it.
That baby is haunted as fuck.
Have you seen those like old fucking paintings or tapestries of like the goblins building the wall?
Goblins?
Yeah, they look like creatures building the wall. It's fucking freaky.
Tartarians.
They just enslaving goblins, the goblins from like what are the Kentucky Hobsonville's goblins? Just those things. Bringing them up from the mines.
If you believe if you fall in with was it the third Mummy movie with Jet Li's going to come back and use his necromantic spells to bring all the dead people back from the Great Wall. Like somebody remember that? That was a huge part of the fucking movie.
The third Mummy? I don't even remember the third.
You remember the Dragon Emperor? The Dragon Emperor?
No, I don't remember. My brain kind of stops at Scorpion King.
No,
Well, it's probably when fucking Brendan Fraser stopped being hot. He started transitioning to like current Brandon Fraser, and you weren't interested in it.
Is it third or fourth Mummy movie? I can't remember. It was like a third or fourth Mummy movie where they go to China and Jet Li
must be the third
Emperor.
Because the first one's good, second one's Scorpion King, third one's
and they have a bunch of they have a bunch of Yetis playing football in the fucking Himalaya mountains.
Okay, yeah, I remember that. Because I remember like he's a little older too, and it's like his character's a little retired.
Yeah, it's like his son is the major player kind of thing, whatever. Yeah, like it's just wild. This fucking Jet Li's just like invincible emperor guy. It's pretty amazing.
Jet Li is
Michelle Yeoh in
invincible.
that. Is Michelle Yeoh in that too? I think. Yeah. But yeah, it's the Great Wall does come into play in a lot of like around the time like the imperial cosmology of the Qin Empire, as it was like a representation of the power and the like dividing order from chaos, as it was like this giant structure that was commanded by the emperor to be built, where the emperor, sat as the son of heaven, having the mandate of heaven back then, to be like, representative on earth, to build this wall and keep out, the chaos that was the, northern border tribes and anything outside of China.
But he's like, point the troops inward. We're going to turn our backs to the enemy, really disrespect them.
That'll throw them off.
Yeah, they'll throw them off when they come, as we're looking the wrong way.
Hey, what happened to your camera, Andrew?
I don't know. It's plugged into my fucking chargeable USB port, but I guess it's dead. Like little light is on that it's charged.
Dude, even it got tired of looking at you.
That's fair. I've been getting tired of looking at myself for 38 years, baby.
Who cares? Keep it going. What were we talking about? What we leave off here? I had a thought. Like, imagine like you build this giant wall. Like the psychological effect. If you're like trying to get to China and you just come across this fucking wall, and you can't. You keep riding for days and it never stops. It's like psychological warfare.
Yeah, it is like I said, it's part of the identity of China, where it's kind of being like, to display. It is a huge display of power to being like, you can muster enough resources, manpower to build these sections of wall.
It's like, like
extraordinarily impressive.
The tallest section's 46 feet tall, and like most sections are around 20 to 26 feet. The average height is 25.6 feet. So it's not like it's
not crazy.
You're not boosting your buddy. You're not boosting your buddy up.
Boys, it's in China. Like, that's fucking unattainable. That's too high. Nobody's getting over, especially back then.
You got Yao Mings. You got outliers.
You got the odd giant.
No, not back then.
The Tartarians, we don't know how tall they were.
That's why they had to get rid of them.
Tartarians were Nephilim, right? Same thing.
Something like that. They tied that all together.
I think so.
And Nephilim were fallen angels or something too.
Yeah, they were the half bloods of angels and gods and human women were the Nephilim or something like that.
Angels and human women.
I feel like when I look at part of me wonders, like, I know we say it's a wall now, because that's what it looks like. But also I'm like, as I'm looking at some of these pictures and like to Zell, like what you said, you're like, the intimidation factor of like, you come up, it's like a lot of the wall is built on like such rugged, hard land, like mountainous regions where it's like up and down, like very difficult. Part of me wonders, I'm like, was this really going to be a wall, or were they like, this is going to be the trade route? This is where you're going to be able to travel on. This is going to be the fucking the freeway, expressway for traveling, right?
Well,
you get under the
Silk Road 2.0.
Yeah, right? Like, it's like, because it's...
Well, the Silk Road would have went through, like you would have had to go through the Great Wall to get through into China on the Silk Road.
Yeah, 2.0.
Right, but like you just traverse the wall on top rather than having to like
put
do
it
the
only
trails.
goes like north to south.
I guess so.
Like,
it goes east to west, doesn't it?
East to west.
I guess east to west, southwest.
Maybe they had big plans where they're like from the ports to the.
I don't think it was paved. I don't think it was really paved for like to accommodate like a lot of wagons and things like that.
Well, wagons to a point, right? Because they use like ridges and stuff. So you get to the end, you'd be like, oh, there's just a giant mountain here now. Now what?
Yeah, because even some of this area that I'm looking at, like in pictures, I'm like, why even need a wall for this section? Like, it seems like it's so out in the fucking middle of nowhere in this mountainous region that it would be hard to get there regardless. And like to get, I guess, that would be just a dagger. She's like, man, I hiked up this shitty hill. What is this wall doing here? Like, why? Why would someone do this to me? And now you're stuck.
Yeah, there are a lot of anecdotes and stories, and I think actually like legends that talk about like some of the remote parts of the wall. That are like, yeah, why would you build a wall here? Like, what's the point? And it could possibly, I think some of these sections could have been like vanity projects. Like they just needed to be built by some local magistrate or whatever. It was just and also it is the mandate of heaven. Like your emperor just told you to build it here. So you're kind of like, well, all right, we better build it or somebody's getting their head cut off. and it ain't gonna be me. I also found it interesting too that some parts of the wall, but this is common in some like Asian architectures, is that they follow a lot of like the religious symbolism or like some of the cosmological symbolism. They have certain sections like those apparently in like I guess Bottling is one of the places where they have steps and railings that are built in multiples of 9, which represent the 9 layers of heaven, which add a little bit spiritual significance to some of these places. So some of these, it is said, like we mentioned before, about the dragon veins of of China, these building these mountains. There is. It's thought that maybe feng shui came into play to kind of these, as the wall is not only a defensive structure, but it is, you could say this, like it is a focal point for the people who live within it. It is this barrier of not only stone, but also, mental energy that is
mystic
like
energy.
Mystic energy is the dividing line. Yeah.
This is like the dragon ley lines, right? Is that what this is?
Yeah. Well, it's like a barrier. It's like, it's one of those things where it's kind of like, it's a talisman, meant to keep out, within the wall, there is order, there is agriculture, there is bureaucracy, there's all these things, there's organization, and we're outside of the wall at that time. That was a universe that worked on completely different energetic principles to the imperial cosmology at the time, and you had nomadism, barbarism, all of that stuff out there.
Feng shui on a continental scale.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like it is a interesting structure where when you get into the ideas of like what the cultural significance, not just the military and engineering.
It's still weird that the fact is like wasn't the construction like it's 2,000 years like
over 1,600 years or something.
Like that's fucking insane considering at the time you think of what the life expectancy was.
30.
Right? So you know what I mean? Like generations and generations of people just being like, all right, I guess my whole life is just going to be dedicated to building 5 kilometers of this fucking never-ending wall.
Hundreds of thousands of people. Their first job was slinging stone on the wall. They died on the wall. That was it. That was the fucking life. Every day.
Yeah, and I mean that was part of the their worldview at the time is that this stuff is all kind of it's a bit grim dark, but they're saying that suffering was seen as a stabilizing force in their universe. The deaths of those people reinforced the boundary, like their work and their deaths, their energy.
It sounds like some bullshit to tell people who were building the wall.
I mean, sure, yeah, it could.
That's some wall propaganda, Dan.
Yeah, but that's what they believed at the time.
That's that's the kind of shit my supervisor tells me at work to try to keep me motivated through the day. I'm like, okay.
And that could, this is why the wall wasn't very effective when the Western powers showed up in their, ships of metal
with a ladder, with a new invention no one had ever seen,
or like giant navies, we just go around, you're just from the water.
And you're like, oh no. What do you mean they climbed it?
But yeah, since the wall is like culturally significant, you get a lot of interesting anecdotes that come out, surrounding or had the wall as a setting. I think one of the ones that I found that was pretty funny was called the Legend of Jiayuguan Pass, where you had a legend where a workman named Yi Kaizan in the Ming Dynasty, so between 1368 BC and 1644 BC, who was very good at math, and he said that he calculated that he would
surprise.
He calculated that he would need 99,999 bricks to build the wall within the Jiayuguan Pass. And the supervisor didn't believe him, and he said that if you miscalculated by even one brick, you're done. I'm cutting your head off. That's it. Which seems kind of I don't know. That seems kind of.
What's he gonna do though? Count all? He's not gonna count all the bricks.
Well,
that's the dumbest wager of the that emperor is not gonna count all the bricks. That's so dumb. Because the guy at the end they're like, we use just the right amount of bricks. Like no one knows they're not counting all those bricks.
So and then he also said that the workmen would be punished to do hard work for 3 years. So it's like if you miscalculate one brick,
harder work than fucking making the bricks.
I mean, they probably would be like, well, no more breaks, no more coffee breaks, I guess,
Your
no more
fingers
smoke
hurt?
breaks.
Huh?
Smoke breaks.
Your fingers hurt?
So after they completed the project, there apparently was one brick left behind one of the city gates, and the supervisor saw it, and he's like, he's getting ready to punish all the workmen. But however, Yi Kaizan said that that brick was deliberately left there by a supernatural being to fix the wall. It was going to be there eventually. Like, you're going to need it, and if you move that one brick, the entire thing will come down. And apparently the brick was left there and can still be found there today in the lower part of that construction.
And the supervisor just bought that and was like, all right.
Yeah. It is wild sometimes. Like I said before, like some of the stuff, like where they have the supernatural was very much a force to be reckoned with in ancient China, where you have these things like, like I said, like, you do have ghosts. Ghosts were 100% real. They have the ghost festival that they've been doing for hundreds of years, where it's like the Hungry Ghost festivals, where it's like, yes, they do exist and they are real, supernatural beings that will cause misfortune, especially something like that. And you could be like, it's like, he might be bullshitting, but I don't want to. It's like, but I don't want to take the chance that this entire wall will fall down. So fine.
It just still doesn't, like, honestly, I don't know why really they would build the wall, but it's just like when I listen to the stories and stuff, and over 2,000 years, I can't help but be skeptical, as be like, that's it. They're just like, we're going to fucking build. We're just going to do it. We're just going to keep doing it forever.
Doing it for 1,500 years.
To the point where for so long that, probably 1,000 years, people were like, what is this for? Like, what are we doing here? It's been 1,000 years we've been building this thing. My fucking great-great-great-grandfather started. He died on the wall.
My fingers hurt.
What are we doing here? And they're like, well, we got to, because, or else ghosts. They're like, okay, what? For another 1,000 years.
It just doesn't.
It just finish like, it.
Well, it is difficult for us to. I think it is difficult to wrap our heads around sometimes. That this was the mandate of heaven. This was the gods. This was the emperor, who was a representation of heaven on earth, telling everybody to do this. And it is.
Yeah, but I could buy it more. I could buy it more that this project was undertaken by one emperor, right, and overseen for 40 years. They're like, build a wall. Go in east or west, and they're like, okay, and then they start, and then he just kind of like, they're like, all right, your wall's doing well, and he's like, all right, yeah, what wall? And they're like, the wall you wanted, and he's like, oh yeah, and then they just continually build it because no one ever told them to stop, and they're like, and it just became a thing they're doing.
That is probably what you're thinking about. Like you don't just have one emperor, you have a dynasty, and you have them continuing the project that was put before their predecessors.
National project.
So it is the national project. It's at some point it becomes a part of the identity. It becomes like, I will finish this wall, or I will continue work on this wall until it is complete. Because that is what my father did. That's what my father did before. And it's hard for us to think about it now.
Maybe it's just part of their fucking political platforms, right? I mean, it got Trump elected.
We're going to finish the wall,
guy.
Yeah, and it is, like we mentioned before, this was a representation of, like, this is keeping China safe from the barbarians of the north and these places. That's what it was meant to do. And you're like, if we don't build this wall, the Mongols are going to come down here and rip our shit apart, which they did.
Yeah.
Not that the wall stopped them. The wall didn't really, like,
it was a minor
stop them or anything.
And the thing about that is, like, okay, well, you got the Mongols, you got the Han or whatever. Those are like short-term like problems.
Like 1,000-year problems.
No, but like Genghis Khan was what, 20, 30 years? Like it was like,
well, it was the cons. It was his, kids after that. Like he had a dynasty.
Yeah, and he had a lot of fucking kids.
Yeah, but even like how
he's populated
what was
half of Asia.
Well, yeah, that's true. It was not like 3% of the world as Genghis Khan fucking
yeah,
genes or something.
That guy was fucking.
But even like what was the Mongol Empire? Like it was nowhere near as long as the building of the Great Wall of China.
Yeah, it's like the threat didn't last long enough to justify another 1,000 years of building
but that
the wall.
wasn't the only threat. They've been dealing with, like, as long as they've existed, they've dealt with threat.
I know, but you would think the threat is like, all right, we have a threat. It's going to take us 10 years to build this 4 kilometers of wall. And in that 10 years, we could just be attacked 1,000,000 times. And then, the best part is when you get to the water. Okay, when we get to the coast, we're going to put it out 20 feet into the water, and then that's it.
We don't want them walking around. Yeah, you don't want them just walking around it. Like, why you can take a walk, leisurely walk on the beach.
Or the West Coast. Actually,
you can swim around it.
The best theory I heard actually is that the Tartarians actually know about the kaijus. And at the end of the western part of the wall lies, what's the 3-headed? Gojira? The big one? Ghidorah. Yeah. That one lies under that mountain, and what I had the province here. It was he lies under the Jiaguan Fort in the Gansu province of China. He lies under this fucking fort under this mountain at the westernmost part of the wall, and that was the whole thing. The Tartarians knew he was there, and they had to connect the wall to the sea to him through a wall in the channel to power the start of the kaijus.
That one makes the most sense to me.
I could buy that if it weren't for the fact that Peter is from space. He doesn't.
Well, and also,
live here, so.
That's in your version, Dan. You don't know what their version was.
That's Ghidorah. That's a fact. He comes from space.
He come from space and he crash landed in this spot right where on the western part of the wall.
The kaiju one that I like because they're like, it's for monsters. I was like, the wall's only like 26 feet average. I was like, so if these are kaijus, I'm like, they're not like enormous. You know what I mean? If that's the wall that you're like, we need it that high to keep them out, right? They're like, the kaijus are like, not very big because they're not climbing it.
Remember, they're more like raptors, like little tiny raptors,
right? Because then you got little monsters. Which is like, so Ghidorah is only like maybe 10 feet tall.
Godzilla was actually just a giant iguana. He wasn't very big.
Yeah.
Because I was like, the wall isn't like, if the wall was enormous, like if that wall was like 60 feet, 70 feet tall, you know what I mean? Like you're just like, where you see it and you're like, oh my God.
Godzilla's like 300 feet tall. It doesn't matter.
Then I would be like, okay, maybe monsters. But I'm like, the wall is so small in some sections that you're like, the monsters thing, I'm just like, there's no fucking, the monsters would be small. But I guess if there was a 10-foot monster, I'm like, that'd be still terrifying.
If there's a 10-foot, it's Bigfoot. We have a 10-foot monster.
You could have Bigfoot fighting Godzilla, and that would be a fair fight, I guess.
Yeah, I love that. The monster theory.
It's not a theory. It's a documentary featuring Matt Damon.
Yeah. Well, that's an asteroid. As if an asteroid impact always hits in the same area. And
that makes even more sense.
Yeah, so they can they build a wall because the asteroid impacts always land in the same place. Every 60 years or something. And so they use the wall to fight off the aliens. Yeah. And I was like, when did this movie come out? 2016. 10 years ago. I was like, wow. I never once saw it. Ever or heard of it.
There are a ton of it's just going through, it was like YouTube the other day. There are a ton of like Chinese like B movies, like sci-fi B movies that I've never seen, and some of them are like pretty crazy. It's the giant monster movies where it's like, it is like giant snakes or lizards, whatever. But there's a definite market out there. I mean, they have the Meg and the Meg 2 were like primarily like a Chinese project. Yeah, with the Megalodon movies with Jason Statham, like the Meg 1 and 2, like those are primarily like Chinese production company funded movies. I like them. I think they're fucking wild. It's crazy. Put Jason Statham on a fucking jet ski fighting sharks with a harpoon gun. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, Jason Statham will do any movie, I feel like.
And he's amazing because he plays Jason Statham.
He plays Jason Statham in every movie.
Why wouldn't you? If you were Jason Statham, you'd do the exact same thing.
Why do you even need to be anybody else?
I mean, he plays a different character in Snatch.
Yes, that's true.
Right? Like he's not the ultimate tough guy badass in Snatch. He's
No, Snatch is I'd say Snatch is the one-off. Yeah. Everything else he plays tough guy badass, other than
he plays
that movie Spy. In Spy, where he plays the same badass, but he's just dumb, which is funny. That was actually a surprisingly good movie.
Jamming.
That's good. That's good. That's a good Jason Statham.
Yeah.
Hit me with it again.
Hit it.
Jamming.
That's good. That's good. I like that.
So I think pretty much we've come to the conclusion that the Great Wall is it's too massive for ancient tech, so it had to be a pre-advanced culture, pre-King Dynasty.
It's wild.
Pre-archaeology, Tartarian or older. It has to be.
Has to be.
There's no other way.
Well,
who could build a wall that big? 22,000 kilometers, all the sections combined?
Over,
I don't know.
2,000 years.
That's what they Dan, that's just what they tell us.
That's what they want you to believe, Dan.
Right.
I personally believe that this wall was built in about 4 days by an ancient culture. Using some type of 3D printing from space.
That checks.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that 2,000 years thing's a bunch of fucking baloney, and the wall was actually built in a way shorter span by, and I'm not saying like Tartarians or anything, just like a more technologically advanced civilization than we think or we know, and that as that culture gets wiped out
by the mud flood.
Ancient Chinese, emperors and stuff just take credit for it, restore it, right? Work on restoring it, because it's just like, if you found this wall there, I think that would be more enticing to be like,
it's mine.
And then you kind of make all these legends and lore to it because it's there already. You know what I mean? It's there. And so then the imagination starts running wild of like, why is this here? We need to, continue it. We need to do something with it. This is obviously important. And then it becomes, like when they're asking, someone of power, they're like, well, it's important because God instructed me to do, right? And they just make their own fucking spin on it. We've seen it in other cultures. And I'm like, that to me makes more sense than it was just ordered to be built for continuously over the course of 2,000 years. I was like, I know like the argument's always like we underestimate like human ingenuity, but we also underestimate human laziness of like, I don't want to build this fucking wall anymore. and we're not building the fucking wall anymore. We're sick of it.
Dude, all those workers who died were just the ones who spoke up like, hey man, this wall's already here. Like, well, that guy's dead.
Yeah. I mean, wipe out a whole village. No big deal. Send the army down. You're like, all right.
But it's like, I can see that more in my head, is that it's not, it was there. And then the stories are just, and the lore is what's come from it afterwards. It's just 2,000 years. You're just going to fucking continually build this fucking shit, wall. Dude.
One thing we know about China for sure is that we only know what they want us to know.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? Like they have so much more history there than we know. They've got pyramids, all that type of shit, and we have no information on them whatsoever.
Yeah, the pyramids, that was a cool one. Locked down though. Tartarians for sure. Nephilim. 100%. All that good shit.
All of it.
One of the cool pieces of the lore from this though is the beacons of Gondor on the towers. Mm-hmm. You read about that?
Mm-hmm. No,
They're very cool.
Well, they had all these like beacons that there'd be smoke signals during the day. And they had their own language with smoke signals to tell you like how big's the army, how fast are they coming, like how long till they get here. And then at night they had the beacons. They would light fires, and then they would like throw giant blankets over it to like do like a Morse code, like block out the light.
Smoke?
No, well, during the day was smoke, like they do like smoke billows, and at night they would do it, but they would just like block out the light for like a half a second or whatever. So they had the beacons of Gondor, if you believe. Well, I mean, obviously the Chinese used the wall. We're just the theories.
Yeah, we're not saying they didn't use the wall.
No, we're not sure. So. We're not sure. We're not sold. I don't believe anything. We don't believe anything anymore.
No,
I don't believe us building anything after.
We've never built any of these. Even all these modern buildings, I don't believe we built either.
No, Tartaria. Tartaria.
The fucking mall down the street. No, didn't do that.
That new One World Trade Center that they built in New York. It's like 120 stories or whatever.
It was there.
It was already there.
It was just a mirage before, and they
brought David Copperfield out, and we're like,
yeah, it just had a giant invisibility cloak on it. Just took it off after the Twin Towers went down.
Mm-hmm. That new 7-Eleven that went up, and no, was there. It was already there.
I know it's full of lore. It is pretty. Man, it is just a cool. There's nothing else like it on the planet.
No, there's ancient structures, but that size and vast.
22,000 kilometers, obviously not straight, but like connected network of defense.
I just can't get my head around that. Like, there's just that much and over that span, and like for what? And that's why I think it was. I think it was something else. I think it was another ancient civilization. There was a globe-spanning civilization long before any of the current stuff. And they were building stuff. They built the pyramids. They built other megalithic structures all over the earth. For what reasons, we're not sure.
The thing is, though, compared to like the other real megalithic structures, the wall has nothing on it.
Yeah, but but let me frame
close to the same building technique.
Why? And like more primitive.
Way more primitive.
Right? But what if that is one of the first things that this ancient globe-faring civilization worked on?
The first thing they built was the biggest wall ever constructed?
They're like, let's build the biggest wall. We fucking did it. All right, what's next? You know what? Let's try the pyramids. Let's try this idea next.
I don't know. They don't have any connection for me. But maybe. Yeah. It's hard to tell. The other ones, like the pyramids and that, like those interlocking, seemingly melted together blocks, like in Peru and also Egypt and other places. That stuff, like those look like the same people built it. Where the Great Wall, you're like, be honest, it kind of looks shitty. Except for there's a lot of parts of the wall, like the tourist parts, that have all been rebuilt and repurposed, and those look cool. But they look like you're built by your local bricklayer. They don't look like they have like unbelievable engineering. It's just sheer will of thousands of people over 2,000 years. So they say. I still believe that at the end of the wall there's something there, and we should look a little harder.
That would make sense.
Have we scanned it?
That would make sense to me.
Have we done that?
LiDAR?
What's the scanning that they found the giant fucking pyramid
LiDAR?
Power plant stuff? No, SAR.
Yeah.
Whatever they called it. That they found like those giant pillars under the pyramids.
The giant Tesla coils, the chamber coils underneath.
I'm still waiting for proof of that, but I'm
still waiting to find the rivers of Mercury and then the first emperors. Well, I mean, the rivers of Mercury is something that's a different area.
Is it? I thought it was all in the same chamber. It was to protect his fucking jewels and.
Well, the rivers of Mercury were like was it the first emperor of the Qin dynasty? Like his tomb is said to contain rivers of Mercury, and it's never been found. But I think there is one place where they detected mercury, and it could possibly be in this one spot, but they don't want to dig there in case you do get rivers of mercury flowing out, extremely toxic.
Well, there was rivers of mercury also at what was it, Teotihuacan? Mexico City, like those giant.
I think pyramids. So. Yeah, large amount of mercury there too. Yeah.
So that's connected culture. That's the other side of the planet. Making connections.
I was playing one game where it was like they referenced that like the giant rivers of mercury, and it's like your character can like run through these pools of mercury. I'm like, this is not good. It's like nothing happens to you. They're not poisonous or anything. You're just like, it just looks cool. You're like, oh.
Do you guys remember?
I think it's extremely toxic.
Going to Mexico, or someone bringing you back something from Mexico that had mercury in it, like these little necklaces had like mercury.
Oh yeah.
I remember playing with those all the time.
Sounds like I remember eating those.
That explains the skin tone.
That's one thing I didn't eat, actually. Thank God. But I remember like cracking those open and like fucking playing with it.
And being like, woo.
Well, I wouldn't like pick it up, and I play with it like a stick. Like it's almost like liquid Play-Doh mercury.
Yeah.
Now they don't sell those anymore. I looked last time I was in Mexico.
Yeah.
Can I get some of the poison?
Where's the mercury on the beach? Just from random guy.
Mercury, guys? Come on, man.
You can't even get mercury in a fucking thermometer anymore. Don't even sell those. Where's all the fun in this world?
Make mercury great again.
New hat coming out. It's going to be
Mama.
bright silver.
Ma.
It's going to be laced with the real mercury. You talk about like a tinfoil hat, a mercury hat. That's some heavy metal right there. That's going to stop all type of signals.
Yeah, going in and out.
Because you'd be dead.
And you're dead. Anyways, we got one beauty this week supporting the show on Patreon.
Yeah.
Let's go. He found us on Patreon. He went to patreon.com. He searched for Theorists, Theorizing.
Beauty.
He signed up.
What a legend.
An absolute legend. This week, the lone supporter. The theorite of the week, the lone supporter. Throwing it back.
Hell yeah.
Raphael Nakawski. Nakakowski, I believe. Ski. With an I? Is that Polish or is the Y Polish? Can't remember. Anyways, Eastern Europe. Brethren right there.
Hell yeah, bro.
His family was also enslaved by the Soviets after World War II. Anyways, anything else?
That's all. And as we always say at the end of these things, keep those eyes on the skies.